All right, have and have not fans. Just to do a quick video here, I think it's a fun segment that I'll start doing because I think I said I was going to wait until maybe episode 5 of my Loving You Is Wrong rewatch, but given that my episode 1 and 2 recaps just aren't doing numbers, I mean, don't get me wrong, I could watch the episode at double speed and finish them in about 20 minutes, but they're just not getting the views to warrant doing them. And I know it's officially August now, and in 2 weeks basically there will be no shows for me to review that will actively be on the air. Greenleaf will be coming to an end on the 11th, but I think what I'm going to do, I'll just start doing multiple have and have not recaps a week, maybe 3 or so. Like, I'll do episodes 3, 4, and 5 this upcoming week. But I think what I'll do throughout the review is kind of like, do little tag videos like, hey, remember when? So this will be my first official, hey, remember the time? Michael Jackson, remember the time? Look, I want to get the Dangerous vinyl album, but it's too expensive online. And I'm not talking about the picture disc. I mean like the, real, just the vinyl where the cover and everything, because Dangerous is like my favorite album cover of all time, but it's one of my lesser favorite Michael Jackson albums. Ironic, right? But in any case, this video is just talking about, remember the time when Veronica and Hanna actually got along? They were on, pretty much friendly terms, because to be honest, they really didn't interact too much in the back half of season 1, because this was at a time where, Hanna had just started working for the Criers, and she only thought of Veronica as, some stuck up, black woman with some money in her pocket. And it really wasn't until Benny got in jail and Catherine got Veronica to help with getting him out that they actually interacted. And those two really didn't get off on the right foot. Veronica was very condescending. And of course, Hanna was on defense the entire time because she just looked down at those. I think it was even said in some of the earlier interviews from the show that Veronica's thing was, she was a person who didn't grow up with a lot either. She was a have-not. Basically, she was from the same side of the tracks as Hanna, but she was able to, come out of it. So it's like, if I was able to do it, excuse the phrase, pull myself up on my bootstraps, how come you weren't able to do the same thing yourself when you work as a maid? However, as time went on, eventually Veronica found out the truth about the setup. I think the episode was called My Name is Veronica. And then, that was one of the first epic Veronica Harrington moments in the series where she shut down Jim, the detective, and David in one swoop. And that was truly the big, start of the wedge between Veronica and David's marriage. It really wasn't even Jeffrey being closeted or at the end of the season coming out of the closet. It was the huge amount of distrust. And I think, as I go through the review, I'll probably do a video about that. Like, remember the time when Veronica began to distrust David? So look out for that video in the near future. But really, it was after Veronica got David to make the evidence disappear that Benny was released from jail, and Hanna was so happy, and Benny kissed her on the cheek, and Veronica was like, oh my God. And it wasn't even like, I didn't even think that was foreshadowing for, what those two would eventually get into in the future. But I think it's very interesting to think that at that time, when Veronica actually came over to the Crier house or mansion, Hanna greeted her and was like, oh, thanks again for getting my son out, and I baked you a cake, and I'll leave it in the front seat of your car. So I think that was one of the last times Hanna and Veronica actually interacted with each other, because at that point it was Benny being in a hit and run, and Hanna really wasn't working for the Criers at the time. So it wasn't until, and I could be wrong, but I think the only time I actually recall Veronica and Hanna kind of being in the same area was at the Crier house the morning of Amanda's funeral. Like, I don't even think they really interacted, but I just know they were in the same, in the same vicinity. And then it was when Hanna walked in on Veronica and Benny having sex, if I'm not mistaken, that is. So just remember, there was a brief moment in Haves and Have Not history where Hanna and Veronica were actually on good terms, and after that, all hell just broke out between the two. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I know these, I think when I do these episodes, I'll try to be better with labeling the episode titles so you know what I'm talking about. but just know that it was close towards the end of season 1. But if you could just bear with me a moment, because this video was off the cuff, I didn't plan on doing it. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull up the episode title for you. And while I'm doing this, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out when I post new content. Also, you want to follow me on social media because, well, I got lots of, social media links down below. I definitely appreciate it if you do. And with that being said, I'm pulling up the Wikipedia list right now. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering where in the world you can watch the episodes, every single episode is on Hulu. So when I say every single episode, I mean every single episode. Like every episode from episode 1 to what was it, The Big Surprise, to season 7 episode 10, Bananas Foster. So they are all there. Not my daughter in recovery. Wait, my name is Veronica. I believe it was the episode, correct? I believe it was the episode, The Truth Will Set You Free. I believe that was the episode. That was season 1, episode 15. And yeah, I think it was season 1, episode 15. All right, guys. Well, with that being said, if you would like to donate to the channel, make sure you do so on PayPal or Cash App, or you can join my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Hope everyone has a wonderful August. I hope this month brings about new beginnings. 5 weeks from now, I'll turn 29 on the 29th, and I'll talk to y'all soon.